Hey everyone, this is episode 115 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is the Miles Tracker OSG back over at HSP right now. How's it going, sir?
How could you tell?
Hey man, I just gotta assume today's a big day.
Right. You kind of know where I'm at. So there's you see the background. You can tell. Yes, I'm at Houston Sports Park because I'm preparing to go to Dose and watch that game live in person and report it. But like you said, Miles Tracker, man. Yes. So I've been here all weekend. I came in early Friday. Came for Dynamo practice. Weren't able to get no interviews because the team was traveling, but I was able to catch a few of the Dose players. Was at the press conference for Ben, was at the press conference for Jeremy Hurdle, which was Dose. And then, we caught a couple of players as they were getting in their cars and going home. And Dash Friday night, watch party, Saturday night with Dynamo. So, yeah, man, I've been in Houston all freaking weekend, bro. But I guess you know what? The people don't want to hear what I've been doing. They want to hear what we saw, what we talked, or what we need to talk about, I guess, right? What's been going on with you?
Well, a big week for soccer, not just all the three teams going on right now. And the last time we're going to see the three teams this weekend, like at the same time, and for this year. Possibly, but we'll see.
Dose is still playing for that playoff spot, so all three teams can still be playing.
I'm just saying the counter jinx, but yeah, just helping to say that it works for us, honestly, because we got a lot of results have to go our way on top of the win and whatever happens tonight. So we'll see.
No. Well, we'll get into that later. But yeah, we just need Real Marnox to lose and we win, and then that's it. It doesn't matter what anybody else does. So if we tie and get the 2 points, then the help situation comes in big time. But let's just get the friggin' done. They're excited. They know some people are coming. I hope it's enough people to show up and show out. But we'll see later in the episode.
Yeah, just stick around later in the episode. We'll go through the game after it happens. And first things first, we gotta talk about Dash here because we're looking for all.
So it's easy before we even get into the game. Sophie Schmidt extended 2 years, 2 years extension. So there's another player that's being extended. Another player that's choosing to stay in Houston and choosing to believe in the project. So whatever they're doing behind the scenes, and Jessica O'Neill is telling them behind the scenes, is obviously enough for the 5 extensions that we've just signed over the past month. For them to believe in what's going to happen and what's going to change over the offseason here. Obviously, the coach is not with us anymore, so we've got that open. We need a GM. I still say the technical advisor needs to be a little more public to the people instead of just kind of walking around not knowing. Asher's very public and then this other guy's not. So I'd like to see him more. But Sophie Schmidt extension 2 years, which anything more than that, you kind of question it. She just retired from Canada from international soccer and she doesn't get much left, even though she's still playing pretty damn well. But 2 years, so that's good. That's another core piece that we can have. There's still a lot of room to play with, so, we're signing all these players, but we still have room to go get different type players during the offseason to whoever this new coach is and whatever he wants to do. But, hey, I guess we're setting up this core for this new coach that comes in and be like, hey, this is what you have to work with. You accept the job.
And I'm definitely okay with that, with the extension, particularly the fact that she's no longer playing for the national team, so she's going to be playing her days with the Dash for the next 2 years and whatever happens after that. But I'm definitely okay with her keeping her as a core player. She's definitely been here for so many years, and she's been with the team with over so many struggles this year in particular. So it's just great to have that experience in the locker room. It's great to have that figure for all the players to keep in mind. And leadership too. It's a big one. And I definitely do agree with your last point. Pablo Piñones Arce has to step it up when it comes to communicating all the plans with the team. We're already out of playoffs, and we'll get into that conversation later. But it's just have to tell us what's going on with the team. We've been saying it over and over again in all the episodes now, but it's true. We got to be there.
I know what his job is, but we haven't heard a word that he's done. Like Asher gives us transparency, so we kind of see what he does, hear what he does. They talk about he went overseas, he visited this player, he did that. I don't know what this dude does. I've seen him a couple times at the gas games, and he's just walking around. He's not talking to nobody. He's not shaking nobody's hand. He's not looking at nobody. So I don't really don't. I guess he's not a public person, obviously not. But step it up, bro. I know you're listening,
Yeah,
or someone can go tell him. I want to hear
he
from you.
better. He better listen and talk to us. It's gotta be more open, but oh well.
Let the public hear you, bro.
No, yeah, and the game on Friday, man. That we asked for goals and I points for trying, but man, what a bad game that was.
Hey, before you get into the bad, let's just get into the good. Tarsi's returned back
Yeah,
in the lineup on the bench. Bachman is returned back on the bench. I was starting to believe that we weren't going to see Bachman at all this year and that she was going to kind of transplant herself elsewhere during the summer. That could still be the situation. She's coming back for the last few games because there was no injury reported. She was out for personal time or whatever the hell this was. Even though she's been in Houston the past 3 weeks training with the team, so good to see her back on the bench and available to play. Two big pieces you need. And Tarsi, uh, quite the recovery right there, girl. So I thought it was a little more damaging than what it was. But hey, you're starting to get players, the injury players, to come back. Now, not all of them, obviously, because a few of them are SEIs. But they, going into this, seeing the lineup and seeing the players that were available now, I was confident we were going to be able to play a good game. And,
me
but
too.
that was yet to see until the whistle blew. But Tarsi back, Bachman back. It was good to just see options have him back.
And no, yeah, Ryan Gary's back as well, which is great. And Yuki Nagasato
Yes.
starting lately. Yuki Nagasato means like goals are gonna happen. And it was a different story tonight, but I'm definitely glad Yuki's getting all the starting time right now.
And you mentioned Ryan Gary's getting a start too. And I was curious to see, I hadn't seen her, obviously, we hadn't seen her play in a long time. So I was curious to see what her performance was going to be. And I was happy with her performance. I haven't seen so many crosses come from that left side. It's usually Patterson on the right, and then you got Gary's now on the left because you had Amanda West on the left, but quite a lot of crossing coming in. And now I felt like Gary's was getting a lot of crossing with her weak foot too, her left foot, man. So that was a good showing from Ryan Gary. It's good to have her back. Obviously, she'll be a piece of this team next year. And so I like the core, man. I like the core, but good to get some players back.
And that's definitely a conversation for the offseason because the one thing that I was looking forward to this game is the fact we just gotta try some fresh ideas. And you mentioned in the last episode, we gotta see something. Looking forward to next year, we gotta see like something different because like every time we just see the team perform. Granted, they're opening up and all that, and it happened tonight. But man, it's kind of like the same situation with the Dynamo, but at the same time, we are not getting on frame at all. And this game was a massive wasted opportunity for them to
Go
capitalize on
ahead,
that.
go ahead and give them the stat on that. Because when I saw it, I was just
Oh,
friggin' amazed.
I'm going to give you the worst stat of the game. Houston had an XG of 3.
29 shots, two on goal, XG of 3, but two shots on goal. That was the problem. Out of 29 shots is what the total was after all that. And I think they kind of a couple shots twice maybe, but Jesus, 29 shots. And of course, we're playing Nair, however you say her name, from the U.S. team. So, but we put her butt to work, sort of. She did have to make some saves. I felt like there was more than two shots on target, though. But 29 shots, man, and you come out with 0 goals and XG of 3. What does that tell you?
Production is working to an extent. It's just in the final third, we're just gonna shoot crap at the wall to see what sticks, And I know this game in particular, I was mostly just thinking about a player named Diana Ordonez because some people haven't seen her play because she's barely in games. She's on the field, but she's barely in games. I wanted to see her succeed this year, but granted, there were a few situations that the team was just had issues building up, but it just feels like every time she's just playing, the goals are lacking, man. Like, and she has to perform even better. And this year was just an absolute failure, in my opinion.
She's a non-dribbling, no-pace forward right now, and that's difficult when you're the target player up there. So if you're not finding her on crosses, you've got to play her the ball into space and play her ball to feet. And she's struggling right now with the ball at her feet. She's struggling because she has no pace. She's a big girl, and these other girls can fly a little faster than she can. So she's got a lot of trunk to carry around, I guess you can say. But yeah, man, I mean, the crosses were coming in. The opportunities are there to get headers, but Chicago's defense was intercepting every single one of those crosses for the most part. But yeah, Deanna, I don't know, man. This is something where what she did in North Carolina to what she's been doing in Houston has been two completely different things. So I'm hoping this new coach. I don't want us to revert to the same style that we're playing now with Ron Alonso brought in. I want a different coach with a different style now. I don't want the three. I want the four back. Definitely a four back when and then you can transition it how you want into the attack. But a straight four back is the plan. Right now we're using that three back and we're using wingers to play whatever and hold up. So I want a different system, and I think a different system will work with Deanna. Right now what we're doing, it does not work with Deanna, and she may need to go back to North Carolina to find those goals, unfortunately. I don't want to get rid of her, though, by the way, just to make that clear.
I mean, at this point, when considering the reset, we have to go down to the players that want to stay. Obviously, aside from the players that were resigned for the next few years, because it's the perfect opportunity for us to turn the page, and it's where we build a foundation. I've been saying for a while now, when we bring in that GM and the head coach, assuming they're on the same page, because it's ridiculous now. Like, this team is just a mess altogether. All this issue with the front office, the stories about players risking their careers when playing in Houston and all that. It's kind of like, guys, we're a mess. We need a reset everywhere.
And a reset is definitely coming, man. Tim Howard was at the game last night, his first time attending a game, I believe, either for Dash or Dynamo. He went to the watch party for the Dynamo as well at the Phoenix. So I'm hoping that while he was here, Jessica was spending a lot of time with him, that they sat down and they butted heads and just talked and just went over some things since they were face to face instead of doing this over the phone via Zoom or whatever they're doing when Tim's doing his regular stuff. But so I hope Tim's getting a mouthful in with Jessica and helping her figure out what do we need to do next? What can we do next? And his expertise is taken. So, and that's why Jessica probably is still here because she's only been here short term too. Let's just give her that too. So, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully she took the advice though, if there was any.
I mean, the better half, because Jessica O'Neill's head is next. So it's just a matter of perform or get out of here, because man, the team is a mess right now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Jessica's head's the only head left too. The technical advisor that nobody knows of is a ghost. He just got here, so I would imagine his job's not at risk. But Jessica's her job. She's left. She's the only one left. So I'm sure Ted, tell Tim, get up on it and let's figure it out. And I'm sure they have a plan. Like we said earlier, these players are not resigning just because of the hell of it. They're signing because they believe in what they're being told. And they want to stay here. I mean, they have options, right? They could do a lot of stuff. The NWSL is not small no more. It's still growing. These girls can do a lot of things. So I'm going to be optimistic soccer guy right now. And I know nothing, but
always,
I want to say that I'm going to be with the girls right now. And I'm going to believe what they're being told is a good thing. Obviously it has to be, right? So I'm going to be optimistic and I'm going to play it by ear. We're going to wait. Once that season ends, let's get that ball moving. I mean, technically you can get a coach now, but that does no good. I'm sure they might have found somebody, and then once the season's over, they're going to start hearing the rumors. But we'll see. Had too long to even work on it, so my question would be, all these coaching changes that we've gone through, how come we didn't give Sarah Loudon the actual chance? Was she not ready? Did we not like what she was bringing to the table? Whatever. She was here too long. We used her as intern twice, and then why she didn't get the position, I guess it didn't work out for both sides. But that would have been a question for me, and we might not be going through so many coaches.
Yeah, and that was gonna be the play this club needed if they're allowed in state. And I feel like, in one hand, I feel like she just wanted to change the scenery because she's been with the club for a long time now, and she probably saw the writing on the wall. But at the same
Yeah,
time, if the Dash were willing to change a few things and convince her to stay, I feel like that would have been a different story, and I would have been so happy to keep Sarah Loudon. It's like I said, it's a coach that has been here for so long that she understands the problem and has an understanding of what the solution can be. And it's just sad that we lost her to Portland uh, this past off season, and it's just disappointing.
yeah, I get it. Like you said, change of scenery. New ownership comes in, new GM, not new GM, well, sort of, but new technical advisor. You got Jessica O'Neill, the president. Sarah Loudon's been here so long, so she's just probably one of those that just kind of didn't make the cut, because they want to change everything, hire new coaches, hire everything else, and they want their own people. So she probably just didn't make
Yeah,
the cut, or like you said, change of scenery. But well, that's a maybe one day we can get that question answered, or if I get a hold of Jessica one day, I'll ask her and see what her professional answer is. But
yeah,
going back to the team and during the game, and Dressa for me is starting to get annoying to me a hell of a lot. She's too good of a player. She's been playing the game too long, and she gives effort. She has a lot of passion. You can see that. You know that. The effort that I'm going to complain about is her effort when she thinks she's fouled, she loses the ball, she makes a mistake, she just friggin' gives up. And she throws her hands at the referee, she sits her ass on the ground, she loses the ball, she just stops running, and then we're pressing, we can win the ball back, and it goes back to this space, and I'm like, if you just would have just done this, or just done that, or just done that, get your ass up and quit crying, blah, blah, play the friggin' game. There'd be some more opportunities there. So I need her ass up off the ground, quit complaining, play the friggin' game, help your teammates. Come on, you're a professional. Your complaining is not going to change the referee's mind. All you're doing is, especially for this, the referee involved herself in this game too much, more than a referee is supposed to, and it was a factor into the game against the Dash, calling fouls, and it affected, and then of course it affected Andressa because she's so animated, So play the friggin' game, Andressa. You can't change the referee's mind. You're not going to influence her anyways. Play the friggin' game. Stay on your feet, and let's hit those goals. Because right now you're a question to me, man. But you're here.
no, Andressa is one of is an important player for the Dash right now, and I 100% agree when it comes to that trend. Whenever she gets fouled or something happens on the field that she complains about, and really just in that time frame of her complaining and just not being part of the game, it closes a window of opportunity for the Dash to get ahead. And and I've noticed that lately in the past few games, whenever she got fouled, or it was close to a foul or kind of looked like a foul, she was trying to look for the foul there or the call from the referee. I get that she's very competitive and she's gonna try and get as many calls as possible to see if we can just turn the tide. But at the same time, if you're not playing by the whistle, you're just gonna waste time and it really just put your team in a bad position still if you just keep complaining about all these things going on. Because like you said, at the end of the day, like after a referee makes a decision, they're not gonna. It's extremely rare for them to change their minds, like when the player tells them. So it's just like for me, it doesn't make sense, and Andres should probably check that.
And if you're being vocal to the ref, you're already on a short leash because now the ref remembers you, knows you, and is annoyed with you. And you're affecting
Yeah,
her part of the game that she's trying to perform. And she believes she's doing a good job, the referee. So Andressa, chill the hell out. But, that's ball 2-0. Shay Groom came home and had a great game. Stuck around at the end and signed autographs and said hello to a bunch of people she recognized. She remembers some fans. So it was cool to see that. But, other than that, like you said, Dash are eliminated from the playoffs officially. I didn't care about that part of it right now. I only care about the rebuild. But otherwise, the game Dash actually played. They dominated the second half, played a great game. They were susceptible to counters. Somehow Swanson couldn't hit the freaking back of the net this time. So there was one wide open. She was just going to place it right in the goal, and she hit it 6 yards off to the right of the post. So Dash kind of got lucky. That game could have been a lot worse, but it also could have been a lot better for him too at the same time. But hey, it is what it is. We move. We go on the road next.
Yeah, against San Diego Wave. And
Yep.
that's on Sunday night. So
At
it's gonna
7
be
o'clock, isn't it?
interesting. Yeah, 7 o'clock our time. Obviously West Coast and all that. So yeah, might be a late one for the Sunday people, but it's okay for us. It's better than 9:30.
Yeah. For real. All right, Dash, we move. Let's transition into some Dynamo talk, man, because I got a lot to get off my mind, and we're already 20 minutes into this
Oh
episode.
yeah, man. Yeah, but let's get straight into it, man. Dynamo losing at St. Louis City 3-0 in what we are supposed to call soccer, and what I saw last night was not soccer. It was probably just 11 kids on the playground playing with a ball because, man, that
So a
was
lot
the
of people,
worst game of the season for Dynamo, and nothing, everything that we've seen over the course of the year was thrown out the window, in my opinion.
topic number one, trap game, yes or no?
Wait, what's that frap game or?
Trap game. Bro, it's right there.
Oh,
You read it, bro. Read it. It says right there
yeah,
next to number
yeah.
one. Trap
Oh yeah,
game.
I thought it said
Yeah,
something else, but I mean it worked for St. Louis, so yeah.
but no, in your eyes, was this a trap game for Houston? Were we looking ahead? To a trap to me is you play a lesser opponent with a greater opponent coming up next, and you don't play to the lesser opponent's. You play to the lesser opponent's abilities instead of playing to your abilities, and then you end up losing that game because you were looking forward to. So my question to you: was this a trap game?
Should have been, but no. Like Houston just like fell asleep and they just were overconfident.
And I was at the press conference on Friday morning. Then talked about St. Louis a lot. So we know they were prepared for St. Louis. We knew what they expected from St. Louis. So you're right. Execution, sleepiness, laziness. I don't know what it was this time, but the energy was just missing, absolutely gone from the game. So I don't think it was a trap game. I think they were prepared for it. They were ready. We have a bye this coming week anyway. So what are you looking forward to? Your friggin' Monday and Tuesday off, wherever you want to go, to the lake or something. So I don't think it was a trap game, but that was getting brought up a lot. Is why I mentioned it. So no trap game for me.
And
But
granted,
there was some road.
we still have Ache Ache and all these players out, and I was still expecting a performance from the team because we're still fighting for a home seat during the playoffs, and it can't go like this. Like this is the type of game that, of course, we're gonna talk about rotation a little bit, but still, this is the game that teams are gonna see and are just gonna be like, okay, if Houston rotate next time, there's no way we're gonna lose to them, and it's just disappointing. St. Louis already eliminated from playoffs; they had nothing to play for, and Houston is just like doing this late in the year, which is for me unacceptable, and they need to check that.
Well, like you said, rotation. No Achiachi injured. Basse injured. Mikel must have been injured, even though we didn't know about it because he didn't play a minute in the game, and Bartlow started in his position. Reigns got the start as well. So that topic number 3, you got a question on that right there. But so there was definitely a huge rotation. That was the only rotation that was made as far as players getting to start out there. Dorsey was back in the lineup. So you put some players on the bench because you're missing so many players up top. But I'm okay with missing Bossy because you put Seba in that spot. Ache missing, Mikel missing. Mikel's huge. I do like Bartlow, but man, come on, Mikel's the guy. Eric's the guy. Those two play every freaking game.
And I feel like it's just that everyone, regardless of who's been playing okay or not, I just feel like everyone was so disconnected and like you said, playing so slowly. We've like all year long we've been used to seeing the Dynamo just like doing all these flash passing sequences that like in less than a second they could have done like 5 passes or 6, and you just go look at this game, watch this game, and for the first minute until the first goal happens and beyond. It just looks like they're not connecting any passes. They're not setting up any plays. Whenever they just send a ball forward to see who's gonna grab it, no one takes it. And man, the one player I wanted to talk about for sure, it's just Artur, man, because this is probably his worst game of the year, and that's me saying something because every game he's had this year so far has been phenomenal. And the game was so bad for Houston that even Artur had a bad game, and it's just disappointing because Artur was just giving away the ball a lot, and that's not necessarily his own fault either. It's a collective thing in this game, and it goes to show it tells a lot as to how things went for the team last night.
Yeah, Arthur not having a good game. So my next little topic here was Coco starting at his normal position for the Dynamo. The normal position being back on that right side. When Ache plays, Coco plays up that kind of up forward a little bit on the right. And Reigns played in Ache's position, played that CDM. So he was the connectability with Arthur this time, and I think that had a lot to do with it. But my question is, I don't have a problem starting Reigns. Obviously you start Coco, but you should have left Coco in Ache's position, and maybe Reigns comes off the bench later, and you start a Blessing or you start a Gaines in the attack. You do something a little different. Coco plays that natural position that he loves to play. So I didn't go to the press conference after the game. Obviously, I'm only going to look at his face because Ben's going to be mad and probably rip the reporters anyways. But I want to know that why wasn't Coco in his Panamanian spot while Ache's still out instead of and put Blessing in it or put Games in it and attack something more attacking. I didn't like that whenever I saw that when the game started, but whatever. And obviously it didn't work out. But me and her mom were sitting there talking about it. I pointed it out once the game started, and then we just kind of talked about it the rest of the game. Reigns didn't play bad at all, but Coco kind of did, and I think it changed it up a little bit, and you could have had a better idea with the way you used that lineup. But at least Ben made changes, though. Can't complain about that, even though they were kind of forced.
And I do agree. That Coco should have been playing in his natural position, and that Brooklyn Reigns. I am 100% in favor of Brooklyn Reigns getting playing time, and especially starting these games. But in a game as critical as this one, the last World Game of the year or of the regular season, heading into decision day against LA Galaxy, a game you need 3 points, you could say, for this team, like in the current situation that we're at, you gotta do the right thing, man. You gotta go all out. Otherwise, this kind of thing happens, and not to put a lot of blame on Brooklyn Reigns because he did have a decent game based on circumstances. Yeah.
He probably had one of the better games of it. I mean, he played good. Like I said, I think it just made a difference on the connectability and the execution between the players and here and there. And he just doesn't get enough playing time to set up things up and what's going on. So, that was his required rotation he had to make because of the injuries and putting players in, and that's just the decision he went with. And I'm glad, like I said, hindsight, Reigns got to play, so can't complain. If you know you're going to go into a 3-0 loss, then yeah, start Reigns and not worry about it. But I would have preferred to have it the other way is what was going on there. But tactics during the game. I am getting so annoyed, super tired of this friggin' possession game that we're playing, bro, where we hold the ball for 70% of the game, and we hold it so slow. We don't move the tempo at all. We don't push the ball forward at all. When you're trying to play Aliu forward, he's not running past the defenders when you play the ball forward. So you're playing the ball, and then he starts his run. The defender and the player are getting there at the same time. You're not putting through balls to him. You're just putting the ball and hoping he can get to it. So we're playing back passes. St. Louis is defending everything because they're allowed to defend everything. They're set up. We play too slow. We don't play forward enough. We always go backwards. When we win the ball in that press, where do we go? Sideways or backwards. We don't go forward and attack their goal. And that's what the opponent does to us. So I'm getting tired of this possession Denny ball right now, and it's really getting annoying to me as of late. Of course, the results are causing a lot of that too. But Jesus, man, we got to push the tempo and change the pace. We're not doing well. We're not in good form, and the playoffs are coming up, and you got the number 1 seed LA Galaxy coming to your house on decision day to make sure that you're going to be the 9th seed if things fall out. So, or do you want to be the 5th seed if you win that game? We're 5-9 from here. So, man, gotta change up a little something, bro. Tactics, man. Tactics is huge. Right now, I'm questioning your tactics for that game against St. Louis. I don't know if you just gave up because you saw the writing on the wall and the team wasn't playing well at all and just giving up crap. But dude, man, I'm getting tired of this style of game right now. Mini ball's not working for me.
To an extent, I do agree, but I felt like this game was an outlier only because of how the team was playing compared to a good chunk of the year. And on top of the fact that you mentioned that St. Louis was just defending very well and setting up the counters correctly, which in my opinion turned those all those goals, you could say. I do also feel like Houston were just like literally refusing to score. Granted, we did get a couple chances in there like that went straight to the keeper, but after Latif Blessing missed a sitter, man, I was like, okay, turn off this game. I quit.
The ball didn't go in the goal, but his head went off. And if you watch the replay, the ball bounced off the post and hit him in the head when he was trying to go forward to it. So I think he wasn't expecting to hit the post. And then boom, it hits the post, hits his head, goes out of bounds, and he hits his head on the post. And like, oh man, geez. And I told Herman, I was like, ask Ben this question: is this that play right there? Does this just sum it up on how this game went the entire night? It's just friggin'. Nothing could fall for us. Nothing could happen of us. And then speaking of the counters that you said St. Louis was putting on us, man, we are so possessive and hold our ball so possessive, allow the teams to defend. Why? And it's already clustered, right? Why do we push more attacking players into that clusterfuck? And then when the other team presses and wins the ball and gets out quick, we're beat. Granted, Mikhail saved our butts several times on plays like that, but last night, they played a ball from their own goal, from their own box pretty much. Guy started on his own side of the field and was 10 yards wide open. Bartlow could never catch him. He beat Steve Clark easy, and there's nothing Steve Clark can do. So we're susceptible to these counters, even though we're a very possessive team and we should be set up properly. I don't get it. I did not understand how we were getting beat so bad on the counters when you're already a team that should be set up in your positions because you don't move the ball fast enough and go forward fast enough. You're on the attacking side of the field the entire time. Your lines should be set up and your spaces and know your marks and know where your mans are. I felt like I could have been a better coach last night, and I would have been an angry Irishman yelling at my players last night, you know. Any of my girls ever listen to this, Angry Irishman's a reference back to when I was coaching, and my girls would call me that whenever I was just kind of loud on the sideline.
Yeah, I don't blame you though. We were all frustrated last night.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. At a freaking watch party too. Diesel was there. Everybody was there. Like, man, it was just so fun.
Tim Howard was there.
Tim Howard was there. Could not enjoy it, man. It was like the player that puked on the field on Friday night at the Dash game and suspended the game for 7 minutes because they had to clean it up. It made me want to throw up last night.
No, man. This, that loss gave us a bad standing, at least in the standings themselves, because after that game and after other results, we can no longer be on top four, only because RSL and Seattle won their games, and they're 56 points each, and we're now sitting at 51 points on fifth place. And
with one game left.
And there's a couple things to consider because, like we said before, we do have LA Galaxy in decision day, and the one thing we also to keep an eye on heading into next week, even though we are on bye, is that Vancouver's playing LAFC. And if Vancouver do not get the 3 points here, that means that
Vancouver. Oh, I see you're going a different way. I was going to say, I thought you were going a different way. You're going a different way. If Vancouver wins that game and beats LAFC, then LA Galaxy clinch, and LA Galaxy can bring whatever whatever 18 players they want or 20 players now to the decision day when they play us. They don't have to worry about nothing. They're the first seed. They're done. Miami's already got the shield, so that's what I'm kind of hoping for is Vancouver to win, maybe. I don't know. I
Well,
want to hear your side though because I may not. I haven't done all the math. All I know is 5 to 9. We can finish as high as 5. We can finish as low as friggin' 9.
I get where you're coming from, but my biggest concern here is that if LAFC beat Vancouver, then we won't clinch a wild card spot, so we're gonna be top 7 at the lowest if they do, because Vancouver's gonna be out of points, out of reach.
Okay,
And
I'll take that then.
yeah,
Because
but
I
I
think
do
Galaxy's going to
agree.
clinch anyways and be ready, and they're going to clinch anyways before they come to Houston. Anyways, they have to win out, and I mean they have to lose out, and LAFC have to win out for LFC to catch them. So I think we'll be good. So yes, I'm with you. Vancouver lose to LAFC, and make sure we're not a wild card team, a play-in team.
Yeah, so and what's being decided right now, it's we already have all the playoff teams in the Western Conference, with Austin eliminated, so Portland got the last spot. But we're pretty much just figuring out who's gonna get the wild card spots and the top 5, 5, 6, and 7. So
Yeah.
who's gonna get the win against LA Galaxy, man? That's gonna come down to on decision day.
And then most likely we'll be playing RSL in the playoffs, and a lot of people are good for that. I'm not sure if I'm good for it. I've had enough of RSL, even though we've taken control of them. I've had enough of RSL. So, but we got 2 weeks. You got international duty. You have 3 players going off on international duty next week. So we'll watch them play a little bit, and then we'll come back. It's Reigns, Xavier Valdez, and Coco, by the way, playing international. And then we'll do our decision day, and we'll be there in person. I'm sure the whole Foxtrot crew actually will be there in person for the
Yeah.
LA Galaxy game. So we'll bring it to you live from the stadium, and we'll see if we can get a dub out of that and go into the playoffs with a win. And then find out who we play.
100%, man. Uh, you know what? I'm glad we're in playoffs still, and we still got a point to prove. And this team, we've been complaining about this team a lot, but one thing is for sure is that we had a lot of players missing over the course of the year, and they just gotta keep up the fight, and they just gotta get back up from this loss and just get that result against LA Galaxy, because it's gonna be massive, and we need those points.
We'll have Ache and Basim back most likely for that final game as well. Ache is a guarantee. I've seen him training. Uh, I don't know what's going on there. I think he just took a knock, so I assume he'll be ready. So we should be full force, ready to go. And we'll start that as a playoff game right there. LA Galaxy and moving on. Double
Yeah,
elimination. You lose twice, you're out.
100%. And yeah, man. If you don't want to add anything else to this one, we just gotta go to the next segment.
Nah, man, that's it. I think I said my piece about Dynamo and Ben Olsen's and the
Yeah,
tactics and the coaching right now. You know, I've got currently as we're recording, I've got 40 minutes before Dyna Dose take the field. As soon as we end our recording, I'm gonna look at the lineups and take a view, get over to the stadium and get in there and start start posting up and seeing what's going on and see if we can get a dub over there.
yeah, and we need it.
For
And
sure.
yeah, guys, stick around for the Dynamo 2 segment after Dynamo Dos. I keep saying it wrong. It's Dos, Dynamo Dos, Dynamo
Dynamo
Dos
Dose.
segment, Dynamo Dos
But you're,
segment. Stick around for the Dynamo Dos segment after this one.
it's Dyna Dose, not Dynamo Dose. Dyna Dose.
Dos,
You lose the
Dyna Dos.
Dyna Dose. There you go. Dyna Dose. So
It
yeah,
rolls on
man.
the tongue.
So
Yeah, I like it.
Real Martinez need to lose. Dyna Dose need to win. Simplest result. Simplest result. And then we play the playoffs. So like you said, it's going to be a few seconds for y'all since you said until I return back. It's going to be about 3 hours for me in real time until we return back and do this Dyna Dose segment. So hopefully I'm coming back a happy man. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Stick around though.
All right, people. Let's get to the stage. Let's get this win. All right, bro. You
Yeah,
ready?
yes, sir.
All right. See y'all soon, peeps.
Alrighty,
By the
guys.
way,
So
I
we
can.
are back to our Dynamo Dos segment. A 3-1 win over Vancouver Whitecaps 2, and with Real Monarchs tying their game after regulation. That means those are through to the playoffs for the third year in a row, man. That game was absolutely insane, amazing. But I gotta hear from you guys since you guys were there.
Hey, you know what? Since we have Xespool joining us today for this, I want to hear from him first, bro. What a game, man, right?
Oh
Yep.
yeah, it was a crazy game, man. When I got there, we were 0-0. I got there like at the 20th minute or something like that. We're 0-0, and as soon as I get there, we get that penalty, man. And of course, Diego, the secure man right there with a penalty shot, bangs it in on the right hand side. The goalie had no chance on that one. After that, bro, we started checking the score on the other end, to see how Ventura was doing, hoping, and they were losing. So we were a little worried, but the second goal I think was my favorite from Siegel. That was the best. How he just went up onto the side and then just banged it onto the bottom right corner, bro. Delish. Other than that, it was just good vibes, man, all around.
Yep.
Yeah, so starting when I got here, man, it was the state. There was quite a few people here. Let's give a shout out to the fans. They actually listened. They came out. There was a bunch of fans here, man. It was a good crowd, good atmosphere. The team felt it. The coach felt it. And then it showed on the field, man, because we went, like we said, went up 1-0 with that PK, and that's how you take a penalty kick. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it when I see someone take a penalty like that. That's how you take a penalty kick. No showboating, no nothing. Hits it hard, puts it in the corner. Great job, 1-0. And then, like said, we were watching the other game to see what's going on. They scored in the 47th minute right before halftime. Monarchs did to make it 1-0. They took that lead. So, man, we were 2-0 at halftime for us with that brilliant Gabe Siegel goal. Touch, turn, and rip, boom, golazo. But yeah, man, halftime we were starting to get worried because Monarchs were up 1-0, we're up 2-0, and you know how those play when they're up 2-0. They let the other team come back.
Yep.
It gave
Today
me, it
was a
gave me
different
some of that
story,
vibe.
though. Yeah, always, bro. It's like consistency. But I think the fans today gave them that extra motivation, that extra energy to make sure they follow through. And of course, these guys go and score a goal and make it 2-1 on us. But by then, Ventura County had made it 1-1, so we're feeling good. We're feeling good, but we're worried that friggin' the Ricardo Clark coach Vancouver 2 was going to come back. But thank God they didn't. Man, what a game. We won't even get to the third goal yet. I'll let y'all catch up.
No, yeah, yeah. First things first, man. Like
That's
OSG
the
just
boss
said, like,
taking the losers.
oh, nice.
Bye bye, losers. Hey,
No, man. Yeah,
we,
go
I
ahead,
spoke
fool.
to Rico, bro. I'm like, hey, man, why don't you apply for the Dynamo 2 spot? He seriously thought about it at that point. I promise you that.
I
He
believe
spoke.
him.
He spoke with Asher and Pat after the game for a long time. I'm sure it was just catching up and BSing, but he's not going to leave Vancouver anytime soon, as long as his boy is playing because his boy is playing on the team as well too. So he's
We'll
not
take
going
him.
anywhere anytime soon. But yeah, maybe so. Take them both. Bring them both home. That's what's up. But yeah, I got to say hello to Ricardo Clark, called him a legend, shook his hand, asked him if he'll do us a favor tonight, and he's like, "No, we're playing the game." I was like, "You're already in the playoffs," but hey, it worked out in the end. But
We
and the
got
legend
Bundy.
was he. Yeah, Bundy was here. Everybody was here, man. Bundy, Pat, Asher, Bossy. But Bundy was happy, man. Bundy was celebrating on the field. The team was celebrating, and it was one of those watching the game, man. And like, we scored the third goal. Beautiful. So by the way, Hurdle makes a substitution, puts in Exxon and puts in Reed, and takes out a couple players. And man, 1 minute later, Exxon does his
Boom.
thing. Yep. Uses his pace, puts the ball perfectly across the middle, and Reed just knocks it in 3-1. I'm feeling real confident now. Now we're watching the Monarchs game with 23 minutes to go, which is an infinity in soccer is what it feels like.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm like
Yep.
right there. We're watching the game. They're heckling the players and the referee, and we're looking back and forth, and then the game's ended at the exact friggin' time together. And so the players hadn't even made it off the bench yet, and we're screaming playoffs. They turn around and Diego looks straight at me, and I give him a thumbs up. And they turn around, they go out to the field, and then that's when Jeremy has a nice talk to him, and then lets him know we
I was
made the
telling
playoffs.
Isaac Makatuya too, because he was the first one to run up to the crowd, and I was like, "Bro, y'all made it to playoffs, dude!" And he just took off to the team. It
He's like,
was
oh
funny,
yeah,
bro.
man, get me over there and celebrate, man. But it was worth it, dude. Like I said, the crowd helped them. They gave them that extra energy, man. They could hear us. The crowd was involved. No Dolly Dolly Dynamo or anything like that this time, but I think we kind of forgot about that. We were just having such a good time with the game, man. And
Yeah.
the boys did it though, man. What a put out right there to make it eighth place playoffs third season in a row, like Fox said. A lot
Oh,
of
we're,
energy
we're
right
cooking
now.
something. It looks like we're cooking something good. I mean, we have a really good group of players from top to bottom. You know, if Xavier is not around, we have Nico right there, and Nico is as safe as it comes. You know, and just on the defense too. You know, if Femi's not on his point, you can see Ify come in just like he did today. And so
Yep.
in the middle, dude, we're stacked in the middle. So there is absolutely no excuse for this team not to improve the performances. They're playing well, but they're inconsistent. So hopefully we can draw out a little game plan for them to have more consistency because the players are there, man. We have a group of players that are very talented, very young, and they play very well. I just don't understand what happens in some games where we lost against Ventura, for example. We're up 2-0, we lose 3-2. So those are the kind of things that I think are punctual errors that the team needs to fix. And luckily, in my opinion, they're one-offs, so they could be corrected.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and that's been a massive problem over the course of the season. And we gotta remember that those started the year with 5 losses in a row, on top of the fact that they've been on winning positions and losing games still. Um, and really just a massive shout out to Jeremy Hurdle, of course, Kenny Bundy before he went to the first team, and the players, man, and the coaching staff. Because just being in that position where you're just losing games over and over again is extremely difficult to come back. And the boys pulled it off. They made playoffs on the final day, which is amazing. A third year in a row, man. Like it's just incredible. Regardless
Well, I
of what
think
happens, yeah, regardless of what happens from here on, you just gotta remember that the boys came back and they didn't give up, and they're now in playoffs again.
came back from the
Exactly.
depths of death, and like you said, 0-5 to start the season off, and just fighting to decision day. That's why it's decision day, man. And they play all these games at the same time. They mean so much, and they're an extra boost going into the playoffs when you make the playoffs in this manner too. And to a team that was in front of you that failed and allowed you that door, and you walked straight through that door and then slammed it right behind the Monarchs and said, forget you. And with the MLS Next Pro Playoffs, the top four teams get to choose who their opponents are. So North Texas is one, St. Louis is two. I asked Jeremy Hurdle in the press conference after the game, do you even think about this? Does it matter? Kind of, implying that it really doesn't, but teams get to choose us, man. Do you care who picks us? Do you want someone to pick us? Blah blah blah. And he gave a good answer, man. He says we're a talented team. We have a lot of skill. I don't anticipate anybody wanting to pick us. Somebody's going to have to pick us. So, and that's just verbatim. That's not word for word. You'll go listen to the press conference when it gets posted, and you can hear it word for word. But he's ready. They're ready. The team's ready. He alluded to Kenny Bunny and what he was doing prior, and now they're both going to sit down and get ready for this game next week, and wherever it is, it'll be a good one. Unfortunately, like Seth alluded to earlier, we're going to be missing Xavier Valdez, who got a call up. We're going to be missing Sebas Rodriguez, who got a call up to U18 Mexico. So I think he's on the plane tomorrow morning, as a matter of fact, to Poland, what
He
we
told
just
me he's
found
flying
out.
out, yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. So, and then I think Exxon got called up too. So there's three important players that we could be missing this weekend, depending on when they schedule that game. But they're not going to return back in time. So we'll just see what happens and when they schedule this playoff game. We find out
Yeah.
on Tuesday, by the way, who we're playing and when we're playing.
Man, like my hunch says Tacoma's gonna pick us or North Texas. I don't know, man, but I don't know. It's
I
gonna be
mean,
insane.
Tacoma would just have to play against us if no one else picks us. But I mean, honestly speaking, if North Texas lets their nuts hang, sorry, they will pick us. But I don't see that happening. If anything, I probably end up. I think we're gonna do like St. Louis or Tacoma because they're not gonna want to pick us.
Yeah, so North Texas has the first choice, and I think you're right. They're not going to pick the rivalry game to a 1 versus 8. We just made the playoffs. We played well against them this season. St. Louis has 2. I feel like they're going to pick us. Ventura has 3, or not Ventura, but the town has 3, and then it's Tacoma 4. So Tacoma technically doesn't have a choice. So if we're left on the board, then that's who we get. So who knows what's going to happen? I kind of want North Texas just because I kind of want to go to that game, but I'll take whoever we get and let's just
Yeah.
work it from there, man. We're going to be missing some players, so that's some key things. But I would assume that other next pro teams might be missing some players too, since it's an international break technically.
No
And
man,
that's,
it's insane. Yeah, it goes as well.
I mean, that's kind of the key thing, right? Like on our end, I wouldn't want to play at North Texas. I wouldn't want to play at Tacoma. Or those games were extremely difficult. And yes, we're stacked, but it's not the same not having, an explosive player like Exxon, versus having somebody else. How you doing, Coach? Congrats for the win today. Support the family. Hey, we appreciate you, Coach. And see, so it goes back to, I mean, I wouldn't want to face, North Texas. I wouldn't want to face Tacoma. But, if we're gonna be missing some players and we have to, tuck it in and go through with that. I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, you got to knock out the big ones too to lift the trophy, right? And you
Yep.
can't do that if you want to wait until the weak ones. It wouldn't be ideal, absolutely, but I mean, this team is built on ruggedness, and this team. One thing this team does have is personality. You mentioned that earlier, how they came out from the bottom and turned the season around. That takes a lot of personality and that takes a lot of character, man. And these guys have that. So if I'm confident one team can pull it off, it's these guys.
And they're
Hundred
definitely
percent.
confident, man. Hurdle even talked about it. Like it's a different team from what the beginning of the season was. Different. There's a few different players. There's a lot of talent on this team. And when they play, they play. You saw it today. They played pretty well. Vancouver wasn't threatening or scary at any moment during the game. They did get their goal, and I think it was kind of a lucky goal, a little defensive mistake, and he pulled the trigger and got the goal. Otherwise, it would have been a 3-0 game. But man, what a final decision day game, man. So I'm hoping the first team can follow suit on their decision day and take notes from those.
100%. Yeah. Well, any final thoughts before we head to playoffs here next week?
Tess, you go up. You go first.
Well, for me, I first and foremost, I really want to thank the fans that came tonight, right? Because they felt it. We felt it. The stands were, well, I would say like 60, 70% packed. It was a good thing, Second, the players love that support. So I think that that's going to help out a lot. And then third, a special shout out to Exxon Arzu. This guy, he's been asking me for a mask for a while, but for a few months. And so he finally caught me today. They didn't let me bring it into the stadium, but I met him outside, so I still was able to give him the mask, and I put it live on my Instagram. So if you guys want to go see it, but yeah,
That's
a huge
amazing.
shout out to him. But he tells me the same thing. I wish more people can come and watch us like this. So guys, the tickets are free. It's only $12 to park. Pack your car, bring your family in here. Come on, stop wasting your Sunday nights like that.
Yep.
And they did us a favor today. They didn't even put a parking attendant in here today. They let
Yeah,
everybody come in, decision day, final opportunity. And, bro, shout out to ourselves for putting in the work to get to promote this game too. We did here, it worked. A few people were here, they saw the promotion. Hurdle obviously saw it, he reposted it, he retweeted it, he liked it on Instagram. It got some extra people here, man. You saw
yeah.
Asher, Pat, Bossy, Ben Olsen were here. Tate Schmidt
Tate
showed up
Schmidt.
too. Yeah, man. There were, and like he said, obviously it's not 70% full for the whole stadium because we only to one side, but the one side that we were on, we're probably 60, 70% full. And it was a good crowd. It was fun. I'm glad the boys got to experience this. And again, I wish any of y'all are listening that did not come to this game or haven't been here before, get your bus down to SaberCat next year and watch some of these games. They are fun, and their players are part of the future for the Dynamo. So if you're a Dynamo fan and enjoy the Dynamo, you should enjoy Dose as much. They're right there. It's the next step over. I know y'all go to AAA and watch your Astros AAA team or something like that. So this is the
Bay
same
City
thing, man.
Cowboys.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, get to the stadium, and like you said, they're free tickets. You just pay for parking every now and then, or
Yep.
sneak in.
No
parked across
excuses,
the street,
guys.
and
No excuses to
yeah,
Yeah,
hold it down.
and it's
yeah.
fun. Obviously, you can see it on TV if you don't want to believe us.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely amazing day. Those through playoffs with the first team, man, amazing. And as always, guys, we're gonna keep you guys updated at all times, and whoever those gets picked by, we'll let you guys know at Dynamic Foxtrot, at Noodle Tiempo, and
Hey,
of
no
course,
problem.
man,
Thank you
follow
guys.
Xespool.
Y'all turned the
Follow
season
Xespool
around.
on Twitter at Xespool. So, and Xespool, thank you so much for joining us again, and we'll see you next time. Uh,
Thank you guys.
and
Hey, it's a pleasure to be with y'all. And thanks for having me.
yeah,
Thanks for letting me promote myself. And thanks for, having this space for everybody that loves soccer.
So
absolutely.
Cecil's yelling at Jeremy Hurdle walking to his car right now. So that's who he was yelling at. We're giving big shouts out to the coach as he's walking to his car to go home.
Sorry,
Again,
guys.
shout out to Xespool for joining us for this episode. Fox, we had a fun weekend, a good weekend. Wish you could have been here, but yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's what's up. That's it. Like Fox says, follow us on all our platforms. We'll give you more content. We'll let you know everything. I know some of y'all are enjoying some of it. We'll try to do better. We'll do more. We'll provide more. But man, H is up, and I've got to activate the mileage tracker now.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in and stay loyal, y'all.
Hold it
H is up.
down.
This is, there was one game I coached in 22 where a lot of the fan groups were out. That was a big turnout. This is the biggest one I've seen, and obviously we want to thank the fans for every push that they gave us. They're a big part of us having a really good record at home. So from me, thank you to the fans, and it's been great supporting the entire season. So, and thank you to you guys for your coverage. That's a big part of it.